I have been working in the office for 6 months now, during which time I have successfully maintained an exemplary track record. I am soon to be 23 years old, and I am eager to advance my career. I have visited my supervisor's office on numerous occasions, a place that some of my coworkers seem to avoid. Her name is Amanda Blackwood, a formidable figure at the age of 57. She has an elegant figure, long legs, and a charisma that mesmerizes any audience. Her stunning red hair and intense green eyes command respect, and when she is not happy, her presence is often avoided. It is said that a single glance from her can rob a person of confidence, and her stern voice instills fear in many. However, I found myself in awe of her. Amanda had a unique charm, both as my supervisor and as an engaging personality. She never raised her voice during our conversations and was always pleased with my work. To be honest, I've always found older women particularly attractive. There is a charm in their wisdom and self-confidence, and a sensuality in their personal lives that younger women often haven't had time to develop yet. So the experience of working with Amanda was a pleasant one for me. I appreciated and admired her. One evening, after a particularly raucous office party, I found myself lingering in the office. I was slightly tipsy, but not so much that I was not thinking straight. I was still high from the night before, and the thought of going home to sleep was the last thing on my mind. I was about to grab my jacket and leave when I heard Amanda's voice behind me. She was standing at the entrance to her office, dressed in a tight black skirt that emphasized her hips and a white blouse that was unbuttoned just enough to show off the graceful contours of her figure. Her red hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her eyes glowed with a hint of attractiveness that went beyond typical professional behavior. "Come here, Ryan," she said, beckoning me with a finger. "We need to have a very serious talk." I swallowed hard, suddenly nervous. Had I done something wrong? Was I going to be scolded, or worse, have my bonus revoked? I followed her into her office, where she closed the door behind us and locked it. I had no idea why she would lock the door, but my heart was racing. Amanda sat on the edge of the desk, slowly crossing her legs, and her green eyes never took her eyes off mine. "Ryan, I've been watching you. You're doing a great job. In fact, I'm more than pleased with your work. How would you feel about working more closely with me? As my assistant?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I would be honored, Mrs. Blackwood," I reply, trying to keep my voice even. "I would love to work with you." She smiled slyly, which sent a chill down my spine. "That's good to hear. But there's one more thing you should know. This position comes with some additional responsibilities." I frowned. "What do you mean?" She leaned forward, her lips a few inches from mine, and whispered, "I need to know how far you're willing to go for this role. Will you do anything to make sure I'm happy with you, Ryan?" I was stunned. Is this really happening? Amanda, my boss, the woman every coworker feared, was hitting on me. And before I could realize what was happening, she leaned in and kissed me, her lips warm and commanding. It was like falling into a dream I'd never dreamed of, but wasn't about to give up. Without thinking, I wrapped my arms around her, pulled her closer, and we kissed passionately. The table became our foothold as the situation moved quickly, and before I knew it, we were in a tight embrace, both of us surrendering to a moment that seemed forbidden but exciting. Afterward, as we both caught our breath, Amanda stood up and readjusted her skirt, keeping her composure. She turned to me, her expression becoming serious again. "I expect you in the office tomorrow morning for a planning meeting. Don't be late or I'll punish you. And believe me, I can be very cruel when necessary. You don't know me that well yet, Ryan, but if you play by my rules, we'll have more moments like this one." She smiled slyly and ran her hand over my cheek before walking out of the office, leaving me alone to gather my thoughts. I couldn't believe what had just happened. Amanda Blackwood, my formidable boss, was now completely different in my eyes. She wasn't just an uncompromising office manager. She was a goddess, both in the workplace and in the close moment we had just shared. I quickly gathered my things and headed home, trying to digest everything. I needed rest, and more importantly, I needed to be ready for tomorrow because I had just crossed a line that could either make or break my career. But one thing I knew for sure was that I admired her even more now, and I knew that if I played my cards right, this new position could elevate me both professionally and personally. As I lay in bed that night, I couldn't help but think about what she had said. Amanda was strong, beautiful, and dangerous. And now I had a chance to be closer to her than anyone else in the office. I wasn't going to pass up an opportunity like this, and I was sure I would rise quickly up the career ladder under her guidance. Whatever it would cost me, I was ready to do it. I arrived at the office early the next morning, nerves buzzing with anticipation. Amanda Blackwood was waiting for me, her eyes sparkling with the same intensity as the night before. I knew this was just the beginning.